The hero of the movie is a very good scientist. He has a beautiful wife and 2 lovely children, but unfortunately, suddenly one day male master wife got a kind of terminal disease. There is no cure for the disease. The man who is a scientist is very sad about this. In order to get his wife back from death, the hero left no stone unturned. Even pig organs have been transplanted into wives. But it is a pity that what the men have done can only barely survive for their wives. Cannot directly solve the problem. Is the man worried about his wife's illness? 2 children tragically got the incurable disease because of heredity. Although now the children can still live as normal people, but not long after that. The children will be the same as the wife. The sudden double blow let male master for a time into despair. Just when she didn't know what to do, he suddenly remembered an animal called turritopsis nutricula. It allows the cells to regenerate spontaneously, to achieve immortality. If you can apply this technology to people, then humans can not only achieve immortality, it even lets cells regenerate to ward off disease. But research takes a lot of time. The wife and children could not wait for the experiment to succeed. Need to keep wife and children alive. The hero boldly used a new freezing technology. This freezing technique can slow down the metabolism of living things, extend the lifespan of living things by about 10 years. Although only 10 years, but that's enough for the hero. After repeated freezing and awakening experiments on dogs, the man finally put the 2 children into the freezer. Then, he used drugs to keep his wife's vital signs alive. After settling down with my wife, and that was quickly put into research. In the turritopsis experiment, he first extracted jellyfish DNA from the cells of turritopsis nutricula. Finally, they scrambled the sequences of the DNA genes. I'm going to rearrange them. With some effort, the man finally developed a regenerative gene. But the gene is not yet ready for direct use in humans. You just need a lot of subjects to do a clinical trial. You can't give an injection until the gene adapts to the human body. The experiment must use human stem cells. If there were no stem cells, then you can't do the experiment. In order to continue the experiment, the hero contacted the former laboratory colleagues Charlie. He hoped Charlie would help him get some human stem cells. But it's a pity, because the lab involves human cloning. At present the laboratory has long been seized by the government. Even the stem cells used in the experiments were taken away by the government. So Charlie couldn't get stem cells for him. But the hero did not expect funds for the male master to prepare all the necessary equipment and materials. The hero contacted the former laboratory colleagues Charlie. We need to treat Tina's husband who is seriously ill. Although the male master is very reluctant to cooperate with this Tina, but for the sake of his wife and son, he had to compromise. That's how it is with Tina's deep pockets. The man with his wife and children moved into the new laboratory. At the same time, Charlie, after learning the news, I have found a man to offer me help. But when he saw 2 children sleeping in a hibernation capsule, he just found the male master in order to let the wife and children alive. The hero has gone mad. Although the man's freezing technology is very advanced, but at the current level of technology, nothing can be 100% successful. Even during hibernation, your child's cells will still mutate because of the environment, with dire and irreversible consequences. In fact, the hero himself knows this, but there is no way out. If he doesn't hibernate the 2 children, then their fragile bodies can't support the potion. If the destruction. And here we are. Tina suddenly sent the male master of the experiment needed stem cells. The stem cells were taken from female lab workers. Tina practice let men very hate. He asked loudly why he wanted to kill innocent people. But Tina took no relationship with men. She just told the hero, your job is to cure my husband. Then Tina again sees 2 hibernating children in the lab. She immediately asked the hero to take the child out of the hibernation capsule. The experiment in which she and her husband slept inside and waited for the hero succeeded. Wake up 2 more people. Of course, men will not allow such unreasonable requirements. The child is taken out. It means death. If the child dies, then his research was of no use at all. To get Tina to give up the idea, the hero immediately told him, all hibernation pods are made to order. Once removed, the creature's hibernation pod is rendered useless. But Tina doesn't care. She told the hero, if he doesn't obey, so now he will kill the hero and his wife and children. To save his wife and children, the only option is to flip. He pretended to agree first Tina's request. An improvised bomb was then made in the laboratory, killed the bodyguard. He and Tina got into a fight in the lab, although the hero is a scientist. But compared to a frail rich woman, he is strong enough to kill Tina. Just Tina was male master a knife-sealed throat. In the middle of a fight, sitting in a wheelchair, her husband suddenly pulled out a gun. Then he shot and killed Tina. Kick it out. After killing Tina, the husband also raised the gun. Suicide. The original husband has been suffering from pain, do not want to live. And to add insult to injury, Tina is still using her money to raise a boy. Without Tina's interruption, the man's experiment progressed by leaps and bounds. He and Charlie were soon able to grow cells from embryonic stem cells suitable for human reproduction. What makes a man tick is that the regenerative cells they developed could not only make humans immortal, it can also stop aging, and cells can repair some damaged tissue. To test whether the regenerative cells really help, the hero decided to do the experiment with himself. The injection again. After regeneration, he cut off his finger with a guillotine. If they're on the right track, then the hero's fingers can grow back in a few days. If the finger doesn't grow back, that means the experiment failed. When you're done, male advocate took out again the zygote that he and wife freeze-rise. He injected the regenerated cells into the zygote so the child is born with the ability to live forever. However, just as the hero finished all the preparations and waited for the results, he's been quietly helping his assistant, Charlie. Suddenly he turned away, because Charlie has been coveting the male experimental results. In order to get the male master of the research results, he began his own plan. He first played ecstasy in a glass of wine, fan dizzy male master, and finally pulled out the oxygen pipe of male master wife let his wife go to see God. She then injected the fertilized egg into her body. Complete a series of operations after Charlie put the scene disguised as male master to kill his wife. And she's an illusion of victimhood. She called the police alarm call. The police came to the lab, saw his dead wife and 2 children in a hibernation pod. Immediately decided that the hero is a freak, have a fetish. Then the men were arrested. He took the 2 children out of the hibernation capsule. Everything these men had done had come to naught. A few months later Charlie gave birth. For the secret of immortality, she dissected the child. Finally, with Charlie's testimony, the judge sentenced the man to death. At the time of the hero's execution, his severed finger grew back. It is clear that the hero succeeds, and the movie ends here. The director left us with a cliffhanger. Actually, after the movie, we all marvel at technology like this. Once such technology emerges, then there must be new laws to restrict it. Then, assuming that it's true that in turritopsis nutricula you get the immortality technique, would you choose eternal life? If you like, comment and follow us. See you next time.